When a man is falling for you, he doesn't always come right out and say it. Feelings can be complicated, and many men, whether because of shyness, fear of rejection, or simply wanting to take things slow, choose to express their emotions through actions rather than words. The beauty of attraction and growing affection is that it often shows up in subtle, unspoken ways that you can notice if you pay attention. These signs may not be grand or dramatic, but they are genuine, and together they paint a clear picture of how he feels about you. Men often communicate their interest through small, consistent behaviors, things they might not even realize they are doing. It could be the way he remembers the tiniest details about you, how he finds excuses just to be near you, or the fact that his body language shifts when you're around. These actions may seem ordinary at first glance, but when they happen repeatedly, they become powerful indicators of emotional connection. Unlike empty compliments or fleeting flirtation, these signs tend to be thoughtful, personal, and consistent over time. The subtlety of these gestures is what makes them so meaningful. A man who is genuinely interested will invest his attention in you. He'll make time for you even when it's not convenient. He'll listen to your stories, and he'll remember things you've told him weeks or months earlier. Sometimes his interest will show in physical cues, like leaning closer, mirroring your movements, or giving you that warm, lingering glance when he thinks you're not looking. Other times, it's in the way he supports you emotionally, checks in on your day, or makes small sacrifices to prioritize your needs. It's also important to recognize that these signs are not about playing games or performing for attention. They often emerge naturally, without him consciously planning them, because when someone truly likes you, they can't help but show it in how they treat you. From the way he laughs more when you're around to the way he includes you in his future plans, each action is a piece of a bigger emotional picture. In the fast-paced world of modern dating, it's easy to overlook these quiet indicators in favor of more obvious, outspoken gestures. But often, the truest expressions of affection are found in the everyday moments, the ones that make you feel valued, seen, and genuinely cared for. Whether it's a soft smile, an unexpected compliment, or a simple phone call just to say hello, these are the building blocks of deeper emotional intimacy. This guide will walk you through 15 silent yet powerful signs that a man is falling for you without even realizing it himself. By understanding these behaviors, you'll be able to see the difference between passing interest and genuine, growing affection. And as you read through each one, you may find yourself recognizing patterns in your own life. Those small, seemingly insignificant moments that actually speak volumes about how much you mean to him. 1. He remembers small details about you. When a man remembers small details about you, it's often one of the clearest and most telling signs that you've made a significant impression on him. People naturally retain information about things they genuinely care about, and if he's holding on to even the little pieces of information you've shared, it shows that you matter to him more than you might realize. For example, you may have casually mentioned your favorite coffee flavor weeks ago, and the next time you meet, he shows up with exactly that drink in hand. Or perhaps you once told him about a childhood memory, a book you loved, or a small challenge you were facing, and later he brings it up again to ask how things turned out. These are not random recollections. They are intentional acts of paying attention. It's easy for people to remember big moments or obvious facts, but remembering the little things takes a different kind of focus. It means that when you speak, he is truly listening, not just hearing words. He's mentally storing pieces of your life because those details help him understand you better, and in his mind, they make you special. Even the way he recalls your preferences, like the way you take your tea, the name of your pet, or the exact brand of perfume you like, reflects a kind of attentiveness that isn't casual. It's personal. This kind of memory also indicates emotional investment. He's not just collecting facts about you like trivia. He's connecting those details to moments, feelings, and shared experiences. When someone does this, they're essentially building a mental picture of you, one that goes beyond surface-level attraction. They want to know you deeply, and the only way to do that is by holding on to the pieces of your personality that you reveal over time. It's his way of silently telling you, I value who you are, and I care enough to remember. And often, Men who are falling for someone won't outright say it at first, but their memory for the small, seemingly insignificant things becomes one of the loudest unspoken declarations of their feelings. 2. He finds excuses to spend time with you. When a man is falling for you, he often looks for any possible reason to be around you, even if those reasons seem casual or unnecessary on the surface. It's not always about planning grand romantic gestures. Sometimes it's the little, seemingly ordinary invitations that reveal his feelings. He might suggest running errands together, helping you with a small task, or asking for your opinion on something he could easily handle alone. These moments aren't about convenience, they are about closeness. By finding excuses to spend time with you, he's creating more opportunities to connect, share experiences, and deepen your bond without necessarily labeling it as romantic right away. You might notice that he suddenly develops an interest in activities you enjoy. If you like hiking, he might casually mention wanting to try a trail and then invite you along. If you enjoy certain types of food, he may just happen to be craving that cuisine and suggest you both go out. These are not coincidences. They are small, intentional choices designed to increase your time together. Even something as simple as joining you for lunch during a busy workday, stopping by to check in, or suggesting a coffee catch-up is part of this pattern. It's also common for him to use practical excuses as a way to be near you. He might offer to fix something, help you carry heavy bags, or assist with a project, even if you didn't ask for help. The task itself is often secondary to the real goal, spending more moments in your presence. This behavior signals that he values your company and feels a sense of comfort and joy when you're together. At its core, finding excuses to be with you is about wanting to turn everyday moments into shared experiences. It's his subtle way of saying, "I like being around you, and I'm looking for any reason to make that happen." While he may not put these feelings into words right away, his consistent efforts to create time together speak volumes about how much you mean to him. 3. His body language opens up around you. When a man's body language opens up around you, it's often an unconscious sign that he feels comfortable, connected, and drawn to you. Body language can reveal emotions that words may not, and in many cases, it speaks more honestly than verbal communication. When he's falling for you, you might notice that his posture is relaxed but attentive, his shoulders are facing you, and his arms are uncrossed, signaling openness and receptivity. These subtle shifts show that he's not guarded. Instead, he's letting his presence and demeanor reflect a genuine sense of ease in your company. Eye contact is another major giveaway. If his eyes meet yours and linger a little longer than necessary, or if he frequently glances at you during conversations, it's a silent way of expressing interest and connection. His pupils might dilate, and he may lean slightly forward when you speak, closing the physical gap between you. Leaning in, tilting his head, and nodding while you talk are all nonverbal cues that he's engaged and wants to be fully present with you. You may also notice mirroring, when he subconsciously mimics your movements or gestures. If you take a sip of your drink, adjust your hair, or rest your chin in your hand, he might do the same shortly after. This is a natural psychological response when someone feels a bond forming, as it subtly communicates, "I'm in sync with you." Even his hands can reveal a lot. Open palms, gentle touches on your arm or back, or lightly brushing past you are ways his body is expressing affection without direct words. His feet might point toward you when you're together, which is another subconscious sign of interest and focus. When a man's body language becomes open, warm, and inviting around you, it's rarely by accident. It means he feels safe being himself, enjoys your presence, and wants to remove invisible barriers between you. This physical openness is his unspoken way of letting you in, not just into his space, but into his emotional world as well. 4. He mirrors your actions or speech. When a man mirrors your actions or speech, it's often a subconscious sign that he feels a strong connection with you and is emotionally invested in the interaction. Mirroring is a natural human behavior that occurs when we're drawn to someone. Our brain subtly signals us to imitate their movements, posture, tone, or even choice of words. This isn't something most people do intentionally. Rather, it's an automatic response that happens when someone wants to build rapport, establish trust, and feel in sync with the other person. You might notice that if you cross your legs, he soon does the same. Or if you lean forward while talking, he mirrors the movement. If you speak at a certain pace or use specific phrases, he might start to adopt that rhythm or vocabulary without even realizing it. This kind of alignment in body language and speech patterns creates a sense of familiarity and comfort between you, almost as if you're naturally on the same wavelength. Mirroring can also extend to emotional expressions. If you smile, he smiles back almost instantly. If you laugh, he laughs along, not just because something is funny, but because he's attuned to your emotions and wants to share in them. Sometimes, this synchronization goes deeper. He might mirror your energy level in conversations, becoming more animated when you are, or softening his tone when you speak more quietly. What makes this behavior meaningful is that it's a sign he's fully present and engaged with you. His focus isn't scattered, it's directed toward you, picking up on the small, often overlooked cues you give. This kind of attentiveness signals not just interest, but also a desire to create harmony in the interaction. When a man is falling for you, mirroring becomes one of the ways his body communicates without words. It shows that he values your presence, wants to establish a deeper bond, and is unconsciously trying to align himself with you, physically, emotionally, and even verbally. 5. He texts or calls you without any real reason. When a man texts or calls you without any real reason, it's usually a subtle but powerful sign that you're on his mind more often than he admits. Instead of waiting for a practical excuse, like asking a question, sharing important news, or confirming plans, he reaches out just to initiate contact. This type of communication often begins casually, with messages like, "Hey, what are you up to?" or "Just thought I'd check in." But underneath those simple words is the deeper truth. He wants to feel connected to you, even if there's nothing urgent to say. These unprompted messages or calls are less about the content and more about the intention. He might send you a funny meme that reminded him of you, a random observation from his day, or a song he thinks you'd like. Sometimes, he might even start a conversation without knowing where it will go. Because the point isn't to talk about something specific, it's to keep the interaction alive. Calling you without a particular reason can be even more telling. In an age where texting is the default, choosing to pick up the phone suggests he wants a more personal, immediate connection. The sound of your voice and the back and forth of real-time conversation create a sense of closeness that a message simply can't match. This behavior often reveals that he's not just thinking about you during planned moments, but in the in-between times, while he's at work, relaxing at home, or out with friends. It shows that you become part of his everyday thoughts, and is looking for little ways to keep you in his world. When there's no clear reason for contact other than wanting to reach out, it's a quiet but strong indicator of emotional attachment. Whether it's a short text or a casual call, it's his way of saying, "I like having you in my day, and I don't need an excuse to make that happen." 6. He gets slightly nervous when you're around. When a man gets slightly nervous when you're around, it's often because he cares about the impression he makes on you and doesn't want to mess it up. This nervousness isn't the same as being uncomfortable. It's more of a mix of excitement, attraction, and the pressure he feels to be his best self in your presence. You might notice small signs like fidgeting with his hands, adjusting his clothes, playing with his hair, or shifting his weight from one foot to the other. These subtle gestures can happen even if he's normally confident, because being near you triggers a heightened emotional response. Sometimes, his nervous energy comes out in his speech. He might stumble over words, talk a little faster than usual, or laugh in moments that aren't necessarily funny. These are classic signs that his mind is working overtime, trying to think of the right thing to say while also managing the rush of feelings that come from being around someone he likes. You might also catch him over-preparing for your interactions, like checking his phone repeatedly before meeting you, rehearsing what he's going to say, or making sure he looks extra put together. Even if he doesn't realize it, this preparation is his way of trying to manage that nervous excitement so he can make the best impression possible. Interestingly, a little bit of nervousness is actually a good sign. It shows he values your opinion and sees you as someone worth impressing. If he didn't care, he wouldn't put in the mental and emotional effort to appear composed. In many cases, As he spends more time with you and becomes comfortable, that nervous edge may soften into confidence. But in the early stages, those small jitters are often one of the clearest signs that you matter to him and that he's emotionally invested, even if he hasn't said it out loud yet. 7. He makes future plans that include you. When a man makes future plans that include you, it's a strong indication that he's thinking about you as more than just a passing presence in his life. People don't naturally involve others in their future unless they envision them being around for the long haul. This could show up in small ways, like mentioning a movie coming out next month and saying you should go see it together, or casually bringing up a holiday event weeks away and suggesting you attend. These aren't just idle suggestions. They reveal that he's mentally placing you in his upcoming experiences. Sometimes, the plans are bigger. He might talk about taking a trip someday, attending a friend's wedding together, or even exploring a new hobby as a pair. Whether these ideas are for next weekend or 6 months from now, the message is the same. He's picturing you in his world beyond the immediate moment. This level of forward thinking shows he values your presence enough to weave it into his own personal timeline. Making plans together also signals a sense of security and commitment, even if it's unspoken. He's showing trust in the relationship's potential by assuming you'll still be connected in the future. It's a way of saying, I see us being in each other's lives for a while, without directly putting it into words. Often, men who are falling for someone will use future plans as a comfortable bridge toward deeper emotional involvement. It keeps the momentum going, gives you shared experiences to look forward to, and strengthens the bond between you. Even light-hearted mentions, like, we should try that restaurant sometime, carry a hidden weight. They're small promises to keep the connection alive. When he envisions you in his future, it's not just about making plans. It's about making space for you in his life. And that's one of the clearest signs his feelings are not only real but growing stronger over time. 8. He compliments you in subtle ways. When a man compliments you in subtle ways, it often reveals that his feelings run deeper than casual admiration. Instead of giving loud, overly obvious praise that could come across as flirtatious or forced, he chooses thoughtful, understated remarks that show he's paying close attention to who you are. These compliments aren't always about your appearance, though those might be included, but also about your personality, skills, or the little things you do that others might overlook. You might notice him saying things like, I like the way you think, or you always know how to make people smile. These statements highlight qualities that go beyond the surface, which means he's not just looking, he's observing and appreciating. Even when he does mention your looks, it might be in a more personal way, such as, that color really suits you, or you have a really calming presence. Subtle compliments are also a sign that he's trying to be genuine rather than over the top. By choosing specific details, he makes his praise feel sincere and unique to you. He may also slip them into conversation casually, so they don't seem like deliberate attempts to win you over. That way, they feel more authentic and heartfelt. Sometimes, these compliments are indirect. He might tell a friend something nice about you when you're nearby, or make a positive remark about something you've done without addressing it directly to you. This kind of praise can feel even more genuine because it's not obviously meant to impress. It's just a natural expression of his appreciation. When a man compliments you in subtle ways, he's essentially showing that he notices and values the details that make you who you are. It's a quiet but powerful way of expressing affection, one that can reveal more about his feelings than the grandest, most dramatic declarations ever could. 9. He notices changes in your appearance. When a man notices changes in your appearance, it's a sign he's paying close attention to you, closer than most people around you. This isn't just about noticing big, obvious changes like a completely new hairstyle or outfit. It's about catching the small, subtle shifts that many others might miss. Maybe you've trimmed your hair slightly, tried a new shade of lipstick, worn different earrings, or even changed the way you style your clothes. If he points it out or reacts to it, it shows that he's actively observing you and that you hold a special place in his awareness. His reaction might come in the form of a direct comment, such as, did you get a haircut? It looks great. Or it might be more subtle, like a lingering look, a smile, or an approving nod before he says anything. These little acknowledgments tell you that he's not just seeing you, he's noticing you. And that level of attentiveness often happens when someone's feelings are involved. Men who are falling for someone often tune into even the smallest details, not just out of attraction, but because they want to understand and appreciate every part of that person. It's a way of silently saying, "You matter enough for me to notice the little things." He might even remember your past looks and compare them in his mind, noticing when something feels new or different. This attentiveness can also show up in nonverbal ways. If you've changed something and he reacts with extra warmth, prolonged eye contact, or a compliment without you prompting it, that's his way of expressing that he's engaged and interested. When a man is emotionally invested, noticing changes in your appearance becomes natural. It's not something he has to force. It's his subconscious way of showing appreciation for you, not just as you are, but in every new way you choose to present yourself. 10. He shares personal stories with you. When a man shares personal stories with you, it's a clear sign that he trusts you and wants to let you into his inner world. These aren't just surface-level anecdotes or casual small talk. They're moments from his life that reveal who he really is. He might talk about his childhood, challenges he's faced, dreams he's chasing, or even fears he normally keeps to himself. Opening up in this way shows he feels safe with you and believes you'll listen without judgment. This kind of sharing often happens gradually. At first, he may sprinkle in small details about his past, but as his comfort grows, the stories become more meaningful and intimate. These conversations might happen late at night, during quiet moments together, or in the middle of a deeper discussion when he feels the connection is strong. Personal stories can also be a way of testing emotional compatibility. By revealing a vulnerable part of himself, he's watching how you respond. If you listen with genuine interest, show empathy, or even share your own experiences in return, it strengthens the bond between you. It's not just about revealing facts. It's about letting you see the emotions behind those experiences. He might open up about a time he failed and what it taught him, a proud achievement, or a memory that shaped his values. In doing so, he's essentially giving you pieces of the puzzle that make up who he is. When a man includes you in the more personal chapters of his life, it's his way of deepening the connection and showing that you're more than just a casual acquaintance. It's a quiet but powerful message. I trust you enough to be real with you. And trust is often the strongest foundation for genuine attraction and lasting relationships. 11. He laughs more when talking to you. When a man laughs more when talking to you, it's often because he feels a special kind of joy and comfort in your presence. This isn't just about finding things funny. It's about the way you make him feel. Laughter is a natural stress reliever and a sign of emotional ease. So when he laughs frequently around you, it means he associates you with positive energy and lightheartedness. Even if the jokes aren't especially hilarious, he might still chuckle or smile because the interaction itself feels good. You may notice that he laughs at your jokes more than others do, even at small or subtle remarks. Sometimes, he might laugh in moments that aren't meant to be funny simply because he's enjoying the flow of conversation. This is a sign that he's not just responding to humor, he's responding to you. His laughter can be a subconscious way of showing appreciation for your personality and the way you make him feel. Men who are interested often use laughter as a way to build rapport. When two people laugh together, it creates a shared moment that strengthens the bond between them. The more this happens, the more he will associate you with happiness, which naturally makes him want to be around you more. Sometimes, his laughter will come with other signs of attraction, leaning closer, making more eye contact, or even lightly touching your arm during a funny moment. These subtle cues reinforce that he's not just laughing because something is objectively amusing, but because he's emotionally connected and engaged with you. When a man laughs more in your presence, it's a quiet but genuine sign that you bring out the best in him. You make him feel relaxed, uplifted, and connected, and those are exactly the feelings that deepen attraction over time. 12. He tries to impress you without bragging. When a man tries to impress you without bragging, it's a subtle yet meaningful sign that he wants you to see his value while still being respectful and genuine. Instead of loudly announcing his achievements or constantly talking about himself, he finds quiet, natural ways to showcase his strengths, talents, or qualities. This could be as simple as helping you solve a problem, showing resourcefulness in a tricky situation, or demonstrating a skill he knows you might appreciate. You might notice that he puts an extra effort when you're around, whether it's dressing a bit sharper, speaking more thoughtfully, or showing good manners in subtle but noticeable ways. He may also find ways to contribute to your life, like fixing something for you, offering helpful advice, or sharing something he's created or accomplished without making it sound like a boast. His goal isn't to seek applause, it's to quietly earn your admiration. Sometimes, this approach shows up in the way he listens and responds. By paying close attention to what matters to you, he might intentionally highlight parts of himself that align with your interests or values. For example, if you mentioned loving music, he might casually share a song he played on guitar or a concert he attended, without framing it as showing off, but rather as a shared point of connection. What makes this so telling is the balance he strikes. Bragging often comes from ego, but this kind of subtle impressing comes from care. He's not trying to dominate the conversation or prove himself to the world. He's specifically hoping to stand out to you. When a man chooses to impress you in these understated ways, it's his method of saying, "I want you to see my best side," without making you feel pressured or overwhelmed. It's thoughtful, intentional, and often one of the clearest signs that his feelings for you are both genuine and growing. 13. He prioritizes your needs over his own. When a man prioritizes your needs over his own, it's one of the clearest signs that he truly cares about you and values your well-being. This doesn't always mean grand sacrifices. It often shows up in small, consistent actions that put your comfort, happiness, or peace of mind first. It's the way he offers you his jacket when you're cold, chooses a restaurant you prefer even if it's not his favorite, or rearranges his schedule to make time for you when you need him. These gestures may seem simple, but they carry a lot of emotional weight. By putting your needs ahead of his, he's showing empathy and attentiveness. He notices when you're tired, stressed, or uncomfortable, and instead of just acknowledging it, he actively looks for ways to make things better for you. Sometimes, this means quietly adjusting his own plans without drawing attention to the fact that he's making a compromise, because it's not about recognition, it's about genuinely wanting to see you happy. This kind of behavior often comes from a place of emotional investment. He's not just thinking about what works best for him. He's considering what will make you feel cared for and supported. Even in situations where it might be inconvenient for him, he's willing to adapt if it means you'll be more comfortable or at ease. It's also worth noting that prioritizing your needs doesn't mean neglecting his own. It means finding a balance where your happiness is a central part of his decisions. In healthy connections, this creates a mutual cycle of care, where both people look out for each other's best interests. When a man consistently shows this level of consideration, it's his way of saying, "You matter to me, and your well-being is important." This quiet but powerful behavior often speaks louder than any verbal declaration of affection could. 14. He shows genuine interest in your day. When a man shows genuine interest in your day, it's more than just casual small talk. It's a sign that he truly values you and wants to stay connected to your life. He doesn't just ask, "How was your day?" as a routine question. He listens carefully to your answer and often follows up with specific questions. If you mention a meeting, he might ask how it went. If you told him earlier you weren't feeling well, he'll check in to see if you're feeling better. These little details prove he's not only hearing you but remembering what you say and caring about the outcome. This kind of interest comes from emotional investment. He wants to understand what makes you happy, what stresses you out, and what excites you. By doing this, he's building a deeper picture of your life so he can connect with you on a more personal level. Even if your day wasn't particularly eventful, he still wants to hear about it, because it's your day, and that alone makes it important to him. You'll often notice that his tone and body language match his words. He'll lean in, maintain eye contact, and give you his full attention when you talk. There's no rush for you to finish, no distractions pulling him away. He's genuinely present in that moment. Sometimes, he'll also remember things from past conversations and bring them up later, showing that your life matters enough for him to keep track of it. For example, he might say, "So, did that project at work wrap up? Or did you ever get a chance to watch that show you were excited about?" These are small gestures, but they reveal a lot about his feelings. When a man consistently shows this kind of sincere curiosity, it's his way of saying, I care about what happens in your world because you're a big part of mine. It's a quiet yet deeply meaningful expression of affection and connection. 15. He looks at you when you're not looking. When a man looks at you when you're not looking, it's often one of the most telling and unguarded signs of his feelings. In those moments, he's not trying to impress you or get your attention. He's simply drawn to you and allowing himself to admire you without fear of being caught. This kind of glance isn't about checking you out in a casual way. It's about quietly appreciating your presence, your expressions, and even the little things you do. You might notice it in subtle ways, catching him watching you from across the room, glancing over while you're focused on something else, or holding his gaze on you just a second too long before quickly looking away. Sometimes, his expression will soften, his eyes will linger, and there might even be a small smile, as if he's enjoying the view without needing anything in return. These moments often happen when he thinks you're distracted. Maybe you're talking to someone else, working on something, or laughing at a joke. Because he's not expecting you to notice, the look tends to be pure and unfiltered, showing exactly how he feels in a way his words might not yet express. Eye contact, when you're aware of it, can be powerful, but these hidden glances can be even more meaningful. They reveal that you occupy his thoughts even when you're not engaging with him directly. It's his quiet way of saying, I like you, without speaking a word. When you do catch him looking, you might see a quick shift. He could smile, look away shyly, or try to play it off. That reaction often confirms that the glance wasn't random. It was a moment of affection he wasn't planning to reveal. In many ways, these unguarded looks are some of the most genuine signs of attraction. They happen naturally, without pretense, and they show that, in his eyes, you're worth noticing, even when you're not trying to be noticed.